Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Christian's Conversations with. In the next few minutes, you see highlights from my conversation with Sally Clark, a curious, genuine, and versatile problem solver who thrives at the intersection of process and technology in highly regulated industries. With deep experience in IT operations, system integration, and process optimization, Sally brings clarity to complexity and calm to chaos. She's passionate about leading with trust, mentoring others, and driving impactful change that makes teams and systems work better together. What you're going to hear in the from the highlights are her experiences from having to start from scratch with LinkedIn, how she's learned how to build that system up, how to build that network up, and how she supports others, and some of the small victories she's seen in the last few months from learning from others. I found this information very insightful. I hope you do too. Please check out the full episode with Sally at Christians Conversations with on YouTube and Spotify. What's another challenge you faced in your career and how'd you overcome it?
Oh my God. What are the other challenges in my career and how did I overcome it? I think really I think it might be a generational thing as a Gen X, and I've kind of read a little bit about this. One of the challenges is that, and it translates to LinkedIn and promoting yourself. And I've always been the kind of person that here's my role and I need to make sure I articulate this that I do my role and I will go above and beyond. But I view that when someone says, about like your brag book, like, what did you do? I was like, well, I just did my job. Like, I will always go above and beyond and help someone out. And, they have a question, like, I may not have the answer, but I will research the HE double hockey sticks out of getting the answer and direct the person to the correct answer or be able to find the person who can answer that. And to me, well, I was just doing my job. So that's been one of the challenges in my career. Is to me, it's always like, well, I'm just, I'm doing my job. Back I've always gotten from my customers and some of my peers is that you always knew the answer. I always, I would have people come to me like, I don't know if you remember me, but like you helped me like 6 years ago. I was trying to find this documentation and you were able to find it. And I know I don't report up through your organization, but I can't find anyone to help me. And I just figured I'd reach out to you. And that's always been the highlight of my career. But I've never, to me, I'm like, I'm just doing my job.
So I've noticed you have done some certifications, and I think that is important. How do you go about this? Because there are so many, especially just on LinkedIn. I mean, without even going to other sites, how do you decide out of all what's available, like what you should kind of focus in on? Because you could, it's a rabbit hole, right? You start one and you go. Also, how do you, for you, how do you decide what's important to you?
Oh God, yeah. As someone who's totally curious and a learner, it's like, oh, well, that looks really interesting. And, probably a little bit of, ADD too is if I could be a professional student, I probably would be. It's really you have to take a step back and go the time and effort, where am I going to get the biggest bang for my buck? So looking at different sectors, probably maybe like if I'm looking at transitioning to healthcare, so some HIPAA stuff, maybe even some foundational knowledge in one of the big software platforms for healthcare is Epic. Taking something like that and maybe doing a little short certification. Also looking at the job descriptions that I'm looking for and I see the requirements and some of them will say like looking for like a master's degree or um, Lean Six Sigma or
Yes.
business process analysis or something like that. I'm like, okay, so if a lot of these are asking for that, then that's maybe where I need to also focus my time. Have enrolled in ServiceNow University. They have a business process analyst course that I have enrolled in. It doesn't actually translate over to the international, I think it's the IBAA or something like that. I don't think it would translate over to one of those certifications, but that's kind of where I want to be as far as IT, a lot of ITSM stuff.
Hmm.
It's helped me see a lot of the implementation side of implementing like ServiceNow, or even it would be like Salesforce or some ITSM process, and continuing that. So it's staying focused on where your end result is going to be. And that's kind of hard to do because, it's like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of fun to take. Oh, that's interesting. And knowing that you only have a little bit, you don't have a whole lot of time to be able to do other stuff. But on the other hand, sometimes it is a little good to just transition your mind from the job search mode, the certification mode, the whatever mode, and just kind of do something totally different, because I think it sort of resets your mind.
So, as we look for a new role, what's the leadership quality you're looking for from whatever company you may end up at?
For direct leadership, the leadership qualities I look for is teams that promote some autonomy, huge amount of collaboration and support, knowing that I don't know if I'm going to shoot myself in the foot, but knowing that with given autonomy, and there's trust, and that knowing that they don't necessarily have to be on site. Yes, there are, studies like, yeah, yeah, you can really get some really good collaboration by having the person to person interaction. Um, but knowing in the global universe that we're in, that with the tools like this, tools with like Teams and, the video, that you can really get a lot of collaboration, and being able to share a screen to see what your coworker's seeing is huge. And so that's really what I look for, is support, collaboration, autonomy, some trust to know that, well, yeah, if I give that person a task, that it's going to get done. And for me, and I hate to say micromanager, but someone who's not going to be a micromanager, and also a super fast paced environment. Because, we all know those keywords in job descriptions, or even reading about companies, especially like, startups. You just have to understand that it's fast paced, there's a lot of ambiguity, things change immediately. For my ideal leadership role, it's not stuff that is constantly changing. And the key theme for me is collaboration, support, and the autonomy to do my role. And if I have questions, that they're available for me to ask questions.
I notice you do what a lot of people are doing now, which is trying to promote other people. Not everyone does it, which I mean, I said I can understand both ways. Why is it important to you? Because it's always interesting to hear it from people. Why is that it's important to them to promote other people that they, if no at all?
It's, it's understanding that there's a lot of talent on LinkedIn, and everyone's network is different. And it's kind of goes back to paying it forward, that
Mhm.
someone helped me and someone recognized me. And if I can promote someone else through my network, some of us are, interconnected. But if there's someone out there that just randomly, sees my post and like, yeah, hey, Christian, yeah, I think he might be the guy we're looking for. I'd love to, it's almost like, if there was a finder's fee in promoting people, but I guess the finder's fee is being able to pay it forward and help someone out, because I know what I'm going through. And there's a lot of people out there who are in worse positions than I am. And if I could help them get to their job faster, awesome.